All right, guys, here's my 60-day carnivore update. So I started this diet for primarily two reasons. One was very low energy levels, and the other one was to also lose some weight. But honestly, the low energy levels I knew were due to me being toxic because fat stores toxins. So if you're eating foods that are toxic, like processed foods and things like that, and your body can't handle it at the time and process it, it stores it in your fat cells. So what happens a lot of times is when you start losing weight, now that stuff gets dumped back into your system and your system has to now process it. And I believe that's one of the reasons why we get those keto flu symptoms. You know, the brain fog and the extreme fatigue and sluggishness, sometimes almost flu like symptoms, aches, pains, increased inflammation temporarily. And I did experience that to some degree. But I think the biggest thing I experienced was about 2 weeks in, after the initial like severe energy slump was over. I started getting a tingling on the top of my left foot, which, I know I have lower back problems. So, and I had this once before, probably about 9 years ago, coincidentally at the same time I was losing weight back then. So, that was caused from sciatica. I have a herniated disc between L4 and L5, and that supposedly is causing the trouble on that side. So, no pain, just like a constant pins and needles on top of the foot. I've been doing the exercises to prevent drop foot. Fine, no problem. So I'm like, yeah, it's probably inflammation in my body, and your weak spot is where the inflammation is going to target, always, right? So that's one of my weak spots. So then, about a week and a half after that, now this started about 2, 3 weeks in. So about a week after that, I was trying to start getting back into walking again. So not for long, like 15 minutes a day. I did it for like 3 days. I woke up the next day and my back was in spasm. It felt like the whole thing was like this, and I couldn't straighten my back up. My hips were like just in intense pain. It was really, really bad. So this continued on for like a week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go see an orthopedist because I didn't know that I had a herniated disc. Like I've had them in the past and stuff, but it's been a really, really long time since I've been to the doctor for that. So, and I felt like, because the last time I went to the chiropractor, he kept asking me, have you had an MRI done? Have you had X-rays done? Have you had any of this stuff done? Because he wanted to see what he was working with. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go. So I did, and that was the outcome. So. I just had a PT eval on Monday, so I'm going to be starting that tomorrow, Friday. We'll see how that goes. I've been doing things for myself that I know of to help this. So I also had some arthritis in my hips with like severe bursitis. So I did have to take some heavy-duty anti-inflammatory stuff. I'm not going to mention the names of it because I don't know what's allowed on these things or not allowed on these things. But I do believe that the intensity of pain I was feeling was due to the weight loss, right? Because the toxins, the extra toxins being dumped into my body, now my body had to process it. Now I did have a few cheat days, 4th of July, and a few other random days. Like about a week and a half ago, I got this really, really bad sore throat. I woke up with it, and I took a test. I was negative, so because I know that that's a symptom of the new variant going around. But I couldn't really. Didn't really have an appetite, and my throat hurt really bad for a few days. So I did kind of go off it then because I wanted chicken noodle soup for some reason, and so. But I didn't cheat like super bad. It wasn't like I went out and ate an entire pizza or anything like that. So anyway, I do notice that when I cheat, I do gain weight the next day, but it seems to be water weight. I don't know. It seems like because anything that's like processed in any sort of way seems to make me retain water. So the first thing that happens is that my quality of sleep gets disrupted. like immediately that day. So I will wake up a few times during the night and have to pee. Before, I think the first 30 days I was like super, super strict, and my sleep was wonderful. Like I would be tired at like 9, 10 o'clock. I'd go to sleep. I'd sleep until 4 or 5 in the morning, where I normally had to get up and pee, just because you drink a lot of water on this diet. But I wasn't waking up during the night, and I would be able to go back to sleep for a while. So I would get a good 7 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep, which is typically what my body needs. But once I would go off, my sleep would be disrupted, and that would just mess me up for the whole rest of the next day. So I would like to tell you that if you have sleep issues, this diet really, really will help them. At least it did in my case. I also notice when I cheat that my body feels stiffer. Like I don't feel as flexible. I didn't notice any increase in pain. Like the worst pain that I had was when I was super strict. So, as I said before, the reason I started this was because my energy levels were really, really low, especially around 3 to 5 p.m. And like I've heard in the past that, oh yeah, that late afternoon, mid-late afternoon slump. And I thought this diet would address that, because it would be so bad that I would actually have to take a nap. Like I just couldn't stay awake. That did not change. Okay. But interestingly enough, I don't know if any of you guys are into acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, the meridians in the body. 3 to 5 p.m. is associated with the bladder channel. Okay. So the bladder channel is in charge of dealing with metabolic waste and detoxing. So if you're feeling really tired and sluggish at that time, it's because your body's overwhelmed. So obviously, even 60 days in, my body is still overwhelmed with processing these things, which makes sense because, I am losing some weight. So I don't know if I said in the beginning, I did lose 12.4 pounds, which I would have liked it to have been more, but I'll take it. A win is a win. But the benefits I've noticed is my hair's growing in thicker, but you guys, I think, know I'm doing the gray grow out journey, so my hair's in kind of a funky place right now. It's like 6 months since I started growing it out, so it has that funky kind of look to it. But I don't want to put any more chemicals in my hair, so using this cute little ponytail thing, which a lot of people seem to like, and if they don't like it, I don't care. I like it. So anyway, the new hair growing in is thicker, it's stronger. I've noticed a big difference in my skin. My skin was getting very thin, and I'm postmenopausal for quite a few years already. So I know the hormone depletion that you have, it starts to make your skin thin. But it was getting to the point, I'm only 57. And if I went like this, I had a very good potential of bleeding. Now I can scratch my skin, not that I do that, but it's much stronger. So that is a benefit. I also noticed overall, I'm a lot less itchy. Like I used to be itchy a lot of times, and I've noticed that has gone away. I'm not bloated like I used to be. I still have regular BM every single day. And I know a lot of people say, they go a day, 2 days, 3 days a week sometimes being on this. I have not experienced that. So everything with the digestion seems to be working very, very well. Like hardly any gas, which is great. No bloating, no gas. It's beautiful. Obviously, when I eat something that I'm not supposed to eat, yeah, that comes back. So there's definite improvements that you can see with this. And I am going to continue with it because I know my body still needs to detox. And yes, I do need to lose more weight, but it's not so much about that. I for decades of eating really, really horribly, I have such a toxic buildup in my body, and I know it could take a long time to get rid of that. So I'm going to keep going, and I'll do a 90-day update when I get there. Have a great day, guys.